So the Tennessee Titans have fired their head coach Brian Callahan after their 1-5 start to the season. It was just his second season with the Titans, and he finishes with a 4-19 record as the Titans head coach. In a statement, the president of football operations, Chad Brinker, said, "Our players, fans, and community deserve a football team that achieves a standard we are not currently meeting, and we are committed to making the hard decisions necessary to reach and maintain that standard." So, Doug, what do you make of this news?
Well, you go back to the 2019 Titans with Ryan Tannehill at quarterback nearly made it to the Super Bowl. They were a playoff team in 2020, 2021. Then they decided to trade A.J. Brown and draft Treylon Burks, who I believe is still in the wind as a free agent. They get impatient with Mike Vrabel, who's currently coaching the Patriots really, really well. They decide that Derrick Henry is expendable. Oops. Just a series of really, really horrible decisions. I think the main reason they hired Brian Callahan in the first place was to get his father, Bill Callahan, as our offensive line coach, who's one of the best offensive line coaches of all time. And if you watch the offensive line against the Raiders, which I have because I was doing film study on Devin White, sorry, Luke, who had like the all-time game.
I'm so happy for him. I'm super happy.
I mean, like, wow. Yeah, it came out of nowhere. And there was a play, the sack fumble of Cam Ward, where they just decided to not block Devin White at all. And the Raiders said, yeah, we had that look going in based on film study. So, I'm familiar with Brian Callahan. I think he was a good offensive coordinator in Cincinnati. Maybe the experience level isn't there yet, but it was just a situation that did not fit. It's a really bad team on both sides of the ball, and Cam Ward was coming into a difficult situation anyway. Interestingly enough, this is now the last 4 quarterbacks, guys, taken first overall, have all had head coaches fired in season. Trevor Lawrence with Urban Meyer in 2021, Bryce Young with Frank Reich in 2023, Caleb Williams with Matt Eberflus in 2024, and now Cam Ward with Callahan. And you wonder, like, okay, so we're going to be patient with the quarterback, but not the coach. And I just wonder if this is sort of the inverse of how we used to give up on quarterbacks, and now we're giving up on coaches. I don't think this was the wrong move, because when I'm watching the Titans offense yesterday, I'm thinking this thing should be locked in a shed and set on fire. It's terrible. I mean, Ward is regressing as a quarterback, it seems, week to week, and you can't have that. To regress at all as a rookie quarterback, it takes so much to even get out of that soup back to the beginning, and then to expand beyond that. I mean, Lawrence, jury's still out. Young, jury's still out. Williams, we don't know yet. So I think it's a tough way to go. It's a tough road to hoe for Cam Ward, so to speak. But I think in the end it was the right decision to make, because that offense just wasn't working. You can't have that.
Yeah, I think for me, it's interesting you bring up those 4 teams, because I think all of those decisions were the right decisions. And you can't really argue with the fact, obviously it's a little early on Caleb Williams, but you can't argue with the fact that it got them Ben Johnson, which you still have huge,
Come on, Luke. We just needed to give Urban Meyer a few more games and he would have figured it out.
Don't even get me started on that. I mean, look at what the Jaguars, even, they've had the Doug Peterson experience in between them, but obviously doing well with Liam Cohen now, even in Carolina. Dave Canales looks like he's starting to turn things around there. They've looked like a really good football team the last couple of weeks. This, to me, and it's similar to those other number 1 overall quarterbacks. It's an owner and it's an ownership group looking at their franchise and saying, we're not going to ruin this quarterback investment with the wrong coaching staff, with a bad head coach. We're going to cut our losses and get ahead of the game, so we're the first team that gets to put together the search, and get the guy we want to work with this quarterback. That's a huge bargaining chip when you're trying to hire the best coach on the market, to say, hey, we've got a number 1 overall pick quarterback. Make the best out of him, please. That's a great selling point. Again, there was just nothing there for this team. They knew this was a lost season already, and if it is, there's no reason to give a lame duck coach another year. Go ahead and move on. Get an early start on looking for the next guy, who will probably be Josh Grizzard, by the way, because that just is how this works. You are the offensive coordinator in Tampa Bay for 1 year. You do great things. You get a head coaching job. That's how it works. So
there you go.
I think it was the right move. I have a ton of faith in Cam Ward as a player and as a leader. I think he can do great things there. Again, Doug, you mentioned it. They've made a lot of bad decisions in the last 3 or 4 years. Banking on Cam Ward is not going to be one of them. I'm interested to see if they're able to put enough around him to allow him to be successful there, instead of having to be like the Jets or the Browns or the Panthers and watch Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield go do it somewhere else.
I think when you see a young quarterback regress week to week like this, you have to pull the plug, because you could ruin a guy this way and he never comes back. It's just it's too easy.
Justin Fields.
Well, I mean, on and on and on. I mean, Baker Mayfield for a while, and then he found it, and he found the ideal situation. And I hope the Titans give the next guy, whether it's the head coach and it's a defensive-minded head coach, and he has an OC who defines the offense, or an offensive-minded head, whatever it is, give the guy free reign. Let him do what he does. Don't interfere. I don't know how much of that there is going on, but I'm watching that Tennessee offense and I'm thinking, man, this guy looks worse than he did at Miami. And you can't have that. You just can't.
Well, it's fitting that this week the Titans are taking on their old head coach in Mike Vrabel against the Patriots.
Which means the Titans should hire Belichick right now.
Exactly. So what do you think of the Titans' decision to fire Brian Callahan? Do you think it was the right move? Let us know in the comments below.